Well, good morning, and I think we have fixed the whole wobbly camera problem. I have actually clamped it onto a chair, so hopefully at this point the camera will not bounce or wobble anymore or turn directions on me. You should be straight up and down. This is me shaking the table. Camera is staying put. Okay, so let's go on this. This is, to me, a beautiful, beautiful book. Now, doing a flip through here for you. The pages are very plain, and that has been part of the problem with some of the ladies wanting to actually get theirs out in color in it. So what I'm going to show you today is how this actually gives you opportunity. So let's open the page tape book and let's go to, let's see what we've got going on here. A lot of the same flowers are repeated in this book. So the technique I'm going to show you, once you do it, you've got it down. This is tracing paper. All right, or actually not the carbon part, but just the clear tracing part. Okay, way back in the day, we used to call it onion skin paper. It's come a long way since then, but this is some of the old stuff. I laid this on there, and I traced a lot of the flowers. Okay, then I flipped it over, took regular old pencil, and scribbled. That is putting carbon on the back. Now I can come in here and I can take a stylus and I can add flowers wherever I want them. See that flower with the pods? That's this flower. And here it is again with the pods. So I'm going to pick triangle or square shape and I'm going to put it up here. So all I have to do is lay this down. Lay it where I want it, and it fits nicely in that shape right there at that angle. And I'm going to take and I'm going to go over it with a stylus. A stylus is nothing more than a stick with a little point on the end. You can use a ballpoint pen. If you do, be very careful that you don't smush into the page and take out all of the tooth that's in there. All right. You can even get, and I have a few of these laying around, dowel rod, saw them into different lengths, and then put them through the pencil sharpener. When you put them through the sharpener, you need to be sure that you're sharpening them all at different points. That way, if you decide you need a fat one for drawing, you've got a fatter one. If you need a pointy one, you've got the pointy one. I use mine for painting dots. Yeah, just dip it in the paint and then dot something. So that's why I have so many different tips on all of mine, is because that gives me all the different size dots. Now, I'm going to hold this down and I'm going to take a peek. Yeah, it did. Can you see that? I will have to go back and ink this whole thing with a some sort of a Sharpie or Prismacolor pen or something, but I'm good with that. I am absolutely good with that if it means filling up this page to where it's more to my liking. Now, there's a leaf right here, so I'm not going to put that leaf there that I was looking at, but I can put this flower there, and then that leaf and everything sticking off that way. So, do you see how easy this is? So I'm going to take this leaf and put it through here. And then you're just tracing. And you traced it to start with to get it onto the paper. So you can trace it again. And you've paid for the book. So nothing says you can't do to it what you want. Then stop and peel it back. Yep, I've traced everything there. So I'm going to work on down the page here and just go ahead and put some of this stuff in. Little bitty circles. And if you don't trace something exact, it really doesn't matter. If you want it to be exact, then you can take a eraser to this, because that is just pencil on the back. It's not carbon paper, so you will be able to erase. If you use a tracing carbon paper instead of using pencil, then who knows what you've really got on the back. You know, some of those are wax based, some are non-wax based. They come in all different sorts. Some of them smear really bad. So that's why I prefer just to put pencil on the back and go on down the road and call it a day. So see how I'm filling this page up though? And it's just moving this around and putting the pictures back in there where I want them. Let's put that one right there. Does that miss? Yeah, that misses that. So that's good. So take your time. Get them in there where you want them. After you've traced one a couple of times, you're going to have to go back in and redo those lines on the back. Sorry, I'm trying to pay attention to what I'm doing and talk at the same time. The carbon area. You're going to have to go back in with a pencil and just re-pencil that so that it will show up on your paper again. And again, being careful that you're not pushing so hard that you're damaging the tooth of your paper. Okay, see there? It's coming along. Now this is like a million little circles. So what I'm going to do is just do the outside ones, and I can come in and fill in those inside ones free-handed later when I ink the whole thing before I color it. After you ink something, be sure that you don't color it until that ink is dry. You don't want to start moving that ink around and mess up your page. Alright, that would not be cool. And what I'm doing here is just looking to see where the design is going to fall on the page underneath. Okay. You can do this with any book you've got. Just trace parts out of it and then fill in. And when I'm finished, this whole thing will be totally filled in. I'm sorry there. That's what I just did, was this one down here. So let me work on this a little bit. Okay, I am back. I went ahead and just did a few around here. And now I've got a Prismacolor Premier. What is the lead on this? It's a 01. And that refers to the nib, the size of the nib. And now I'm just coming in and I'm tracing again what I traced and put on. But it just really nicely filled this page out. So if you get a page that's not as full as you want it, that's just opportunity. Okay, it's opportunity for you to be creative, you to get in there and fix it up the way you want to. I think that artists would be pleased if they knew that we were taking artwork and really changing it up to fit our own personal needs for where we would use it and what we would want to do with it anyway. You know, that's why you see a lot of these coloring books out there that say, finish the picture. It may have picture frames on it, and it might say, put pictures in all these. Or it might have vases and say, fill the vases with flowers. That's because they're trying to get you to be a little bit creative too. So there's nothing wrong with coming in and filling this out. And see, I'm still keeping my heart shape here. I'm not putting anything in there. I'm just altering everything that was around the outside to really beef that up. Now, nothing says I couldn't have left it just like it was, because it really was quite beautiful. If I wanted to take it out and frame it, it would have been perfect for that. But that's not what I'm going to do. So I wanted to go ahead and fix this up and just fill up the page. And we get a lot of books that have a lot of blank area in them. And you can even take, I'm going to have to turn this so I can get to it easier though. Yeah, turn your work when you're working on it, make it easier for you to get to it. Oh, what I was going to say though is you could also take a book like this and do just a corner border on the two corners and then leave the rest of it. Let's talk about this book for a second. Okay, so you would just finish that on the whole page, and then after it's dried, really dried good. I mean, that's dried, but I'm going to be hitting it with something that's got some moisture and movement to it, so I want to make sure it's super dry before I do that. Here's my clear plastic that was behind it so that I didn't push into this page. See, if I wanted more flowers on this page, I could take and just put a couple stems here and a little grouping of flowers. Okay, a couple stems over here and a little group of flowers. And then over here, just add a couple flowers with maybe one or two stems going back into this. Let's see what's next. This one is another round one. Just fill it out at the bottom, maybe a little at the top, or just put a row across the bottom and a row across the top. You don't have to fill the whole thing in. Now with this one, because you would lose your hot air balloon shape, what I would do, if I were going to add to this, is just add the flowers across the bottom, as if this were still sitting in the grass and that was the flowers growing. Okay, I would not do all over. This one, that to me looks pretty full as is. If you wanted more, I would draw a band inside going all the way around, and you can measure that with a ruler and put it on with pencil, and then put a few flowers inside, and that way you'd have that band to separate it from the outside, and it would not make these flowers that are cut in half look awkward. This one, add around the outside, but then you're going to lose the look of a wreath. This one, again, I would draw a line around the heart, and then another line around it, and then add to it. This one, you can add them wherever you want. It's not going to make a big difference. On this one, that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying just do the corners. Just beef it up some. This one, you could add some all across the bottom, just right up next to that double line. And you've got room to add more up there. This one I would leave alone unless I were to draw a band right here and put just the little ferns in it. Same thing across the top. This one, just copy some of these bigger flowers and pop them in the corners. Copy the leaves, put them coming out from right here. Copy that little hand-looking flower, put it right here. You're almost full. I would not do anything to this unless it were a band across the bottom. Then you're not going to lose the wing shape that way. This one, doesn't matter. You can add to it, and it's going to be fine. Again, just add another stem coming off and another little cluster of flowers and some leaves, and you've got it. This one, If you're going to add anything, I would add it to where it looks like it's coming out from behind the jar, because if you add anything just around, you're going to lose the effect that they're coming out of it. Here's another one just like that first one we did. Just start beefing it up. Oh, that's pretty. Now on this, I would probably take these little flowers and just sprinkle them all around the outside. And then another row out, I would sprinkle these leaves all the way around. And then pick up this little flower and do it all the way around. So see, a book is nothing more than opportunity for you to get artistic. Okay? You copy that entire cluster, turn it sideways, and pop it in right there. Bam! Page full. I wouldn't add a lot to this page. You're going to lose the word. This one you can add. You're still going to have that heart inside, even if you add everything all over the outside. Or draw you a light heart with pencil and make sure you stay within it. But then you're going to hit the edge over here because they did go side to side, which is kind of cool that they filled it that much. This you could add whatever all around the outside. You know, all these flowers, just repeat them all around. So easy to fill a page. Not a difficult thing at all. And again, that's where we're at on this one. So I will go in and just continue to fill up this page. But yeah, when you get a book that's not as full as you thought that it was going to be, look at it as an opportunity to go in there and fill it up yourself. Okay? All right, have a great one.